Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Masculinity comes from within. Now, I've been talking about masculinity for these past few Fridays, and I don't, you know what? I don't know, I'll probably keep it going. But here's the thing, it comes from within. It comes from within. Yeah, because some of the most masculine men, they might not be muscular. I can talk body game all the time. I still am. But you get some guys who practice body game and they might not be the most masculine. They might not be the most masculine. Or they could have that tall height. They can be 6'2" and all of that. Might not be the most masculine. Or they could behave in such a way that on the surface seems very masculine. But then when it's time for them to actually do something, actually stand up as a man, they ain't doing it. I'm going to tell you what, with masculinity, true masculinity is within you. True masculinity is within you. Now, I've said on occasion that, yeah, it can reflect in your outer form. It can reflect. It can reflect in you building up your body and carrying yourself walking and carrying yourself masculine. But it all starts, I don't care, it starts within you. You got to have it within you. You can't be faking out here. And that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing for any man. You got to have it within you. You can't be faking out here. Look, I don't care. You get some dudes, yeah, they'll try to act like it, or what they call macho behavior, and they'll try to act all big and tough, but then as soon as you get in their face, they crumble. Nah, it's within you. In fact, some of the most masculine men, they might not look like it. You might not think anything of them. They might not be big and muscular or all cut or anything, or the tallest or whatever. But then when it's time for a man to stand up, that's when they stand up. When there's a war, when it's time for a man to be a warrior, they run in towards the fire. If there's a fire or something, they run in towards it. Or to be that eagle, or to be that hunter, or to be that healer, to be in the house of the man. It's within them. And that's the most important thing. That's where you have to start with that. That's the most important thing. That's where you have to start. And if it's not within you, then you have some problems. Look, because some guys do get caught up in how they look on the outside. That's some female shit. You got to have it within you first before anything. And yes, I do mean that's some female thing. They worried about how they look on the outside because that's how they draw men. That's how they draw attention. But you got to have it in your heart. You got to have it in your heart. You got to have it inside. You got to have it in your character. That's where you have to start. If you don't have it there, then you got some work to do. It's not saying you can't develop it, but you have to get to the point where it comes out of you. You got to have it in your heart. You got to have it there. It was like this warrior thing. I remember I'll never forget, it was a young man, and it was at a self-improvement summit. And we were talking about the warrior, and he didn't feel like he had it. And I said, no, you might have it, but you're not going to know until it's time to stand up. It's time to run towards that fire. You might not know it. See, one thing about a man, when it's time for a man to stand up, he's going to stand up. I think about my step-grandfather sometimes. He was a smallish man. He was a smallish man, but he had fought in World War II. And when it was time for somebody to stand up, I noticed one thing about him. He always stood up, even though he was a smallish man. That's what it means to be a man, because it came from within him. He ain't put up with anything. He stood up, and I don't care where it was. Shoot, he even stood up in the middle of a church sermon to call out the minister on something. I was like, oh my goodness. But that's what it means. And like I say, he was a smallish man. See, it's not about your height. You get some guys worried about their height and everything. Nah, your height don't make you a man. There's some guys out there, they might be 5'3", but they more of a man than somebody who's 6'3", because it's coming from within them. And that's what you have to do. I can't emphasize that enough. I cannot emphasize that enough. And once you develop it inside, then it starts to like reflect on the outside. It reflects in how you walk, how you hold your head, how you hold your posture and everything. It reflects in when something happens, which direction you running. You running towards that danger to like take care of it, or you running away from it? Now, because I've met plenty of men. Yeah, on the outside, they look like they could really handle something. I remember this one guy, it was a white guy and stuff. He was supposedly a good skinhead. I think he was one of the bad skinheads and stuff. But there was a situation that happened at the workplace. It was at a gym, and he was supposed to stand up. And he was sitting down. He wasn't doing anything. I was like, oh man, I thought he was supposed to be so tough and everything. You know? He's supposed to be so tough, but nah, he wasn't. And I don't care. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I don't care if he see this. Because that's how you are. That's how it's supposed to be. Are you in that, if that bad situation happened and you standing up like a man, are you exhibiting the house of the man? If you have to stand up, are you going to be that warrior who's going to protect his family no matter what? Are you going to be that eagle who's going to see ahead no matter what? You're going to be that hunter. You're going to get that money no matter what. And if you got to make love to your woman and basically heal, make sure your family okay, you're going to do that as a healer. That's what it means to be a man. But it's not about how you look. It's about what's inside of you. You got to have it in your heart. You got to have it in your spirit. And that's the thing. That's the thing to always recognize. Yes, I'm going to still promote body gain. But even that has to start within you. And then you might not have that height. Like I say, you might not have that height. And shoot, even your body. You might not be that dude super cut and all of that. But you still got that man inside of you when it's time for you to stand up. That's what it means to be a man. That's where you have to go. And it got to come from within. No ifs, ands, and buts. So you got too many males out here. They'll show it on the outside, but they don't have it on the inside. They don't have that heart. They don't have that heart. They're not a warrior on the inside. You know? And that's where you got to go. You start there. Everything else comes. In fact, I'm going to say this. That's more important than anything you might have on the outside of you. That's more important because anybody can fake. Anybody can fake. Heck, I talked about masculine women. They got that energy inside of them. Whether we like it or not. You got some women got that energy inside of them. So how come a man can't have it inside of them? Like a woman, I have it inside of her, but she looking feminine as whatever. She fine, got that nice body. So if a woman got it inside her, you got some women out here got it inside of them. There's no excuse for a man not to have it inside of them. I want y'all to think about that. All right? I can talk about masculinity and, it ain't about how much money you making. It ain't about how you look or how tall you are. It's about what you got inside of here, all right? And I want y'all to remember that. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So anyway, that's all I have for right now. And I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.